So this is probably going to be one of my most powerful videos. And no, this video is not for everyone, but if you are a man who is looking to master himself, who is looking for supreme peace, knowledge of self, and frankly, to just be a beast, and you are aware of the impact of your mind and your emotions and how that all relates to your success in anything, with weight loss, with your career, with your relationship, then this video is for you. So let me give you some context. I just had a really good conversation with one of my online coaching clients. He's on a journey. My man is doing his thing. I think he's down 40 or 50 pounds at this point. Don't quote me on that, but I just know he's had a significant transformation since I started working with him. You can see the photos on the screen. And I have him in a season where we're locked in. We are taking discipline to the next level. I have him on what I call my self-mastery protocol, which includes a very strict morning routine, a very strict evening routine, and there's a certain amount of elements involved that helps you really strengthen your discipline. And one of the elements of this protocol is no masturbation, no sex. And he had a misstep in one of the areas in the program, not saying which one. He had a misstep, and we're talking about it because he was beating himself up. So that's what was going on. I'm going to do a reaction style video to the actual call.
You can choose the perspective, right? And I think stuff like this happens as a means for God to teach us something.
Now, when I said stuff like this happens, I was referring to how he quote unquote messed up.
Right. You feel what I'm saying? We can choose to use this to beat ourselves up with and say, man, you can't commit to anything. You always fuck up, blah, 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 blah. Or you can say, hey, you know what? This is life, right? And with life, sometimes we have moments of imperfection, and that's an inevitable part of the human experience. So it's probably way more valuable for you to quote unquote slip up and then give yourself grace and allow it to be a lesson for you so that you can get to experience yourself, not self-sabotage because of it.
All right, more context. I know I'm not the only one, and I know Calvin is not the only one who experiences that aggressive voice in our heads whenever we quote unquote mess up. Whether you're on a diet, whether you are pursuing some sort of goal and you lose focus, whatever it may be, we've all experienced that negative self-talk whenever we are imperfect. Now, what I'm explaining here is I was celebrating the fact that he did not allow it to let him spiral out of control, right? We typically do that. Well, let's say we're on a diet and we overeat and we have this all or nothing mindset, and it instantly activates, oh shit, I fucked up. I might as well just quit, right? Which is a very flawed way of thinking, but I'll get more into that in the next part of this video here.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because again, it's an inevitable part of the human experience. So if you can minimize how your humanness impacts you on your journey, right? How it impacts that voice on your head, you got to practice doing that in order to be able to do it.
That is what always would stop me. It's like, I let the one mistake just abandon the routine, abandon the whole journey, abandon the whole mission because of one freaking mistake when really I could have just got right back on it the next day.
It's one of the most flawed ways that we think. It's this all or nothing thinking. And it's it's such a faulty mechanism of our minds. Think about it, bro. How you do anything is how you do everything. Right? Yeah. There's always going to be threads of consistency in the mental framework that we choose in different areas of our lives. There's always going to be a thread of consistency there, right? Mm-hmm. As your coach, I'm happier that it happened.
Yeah.
You got a chance to break a cycle, right? A faulty thought pattern that in the past would have completely sabotaged.
So what I was saying is I was more happy that he actually messed up and he had a chance to recover. He had a chance to do something different than he would have in the past. In the past, when he messed up, he would have just blew the whole ship up, right? But this time he said, you know what? I messed up, but it's all good. I'm going to pick back up and I'm going to get back to it. And there's something so valuable about experiencing yourself break that cycle. And that's what I was explaining here.
In this very same situation in the past, you would have completely sabotaged. But the value of you getting to experience yourself not sabotage and to have a different perspective on it is probably the most valuable thing you're going to experience from this entire. You feel what I'm saying? It's right. And that's what these seasons of like lock-in are designed to do.
I was referring to the self-mastery period, right? This season of extreme discipline. I was calling it the season of lock-in, just to give you guys some context.
Teach you, right? Because it puts you in an environment, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where you have to face shit that comes up.
Yeah, life, reality.
You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is probably the biggest golden nugget from the entire experience. Shift. You can choose to on your journey, right? Think about it, bro. How you do anything is that in the past would have completely sabotaged. In this very same situation in the past, you would have completely sabotaged. But the value of you getting to experience yourself not, you can choose the perspective, right? And I think able to do it completely, you would have completely sabotaged. In this very same situation in the past, you would have completely sabotaged. But the value of you getting to experience yourself not sabotage and to have a different perspective on it is probably the most valuable thing you're going to experience from this entire. You feel what I'm saying? It's right. And that's what these seasons of like lock-in are designed to do, to teach you, right? Because it puts you in an environment, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where you have to face shit that comes up.
Yeah, life, reality.
You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is probably the biggest golden nugget from the entire experience. Shifting from critical to curious in those moments, right? Is the key, bro. You could be more intentional.
Hold on, I don't want to brush over that. What I told him is in those moments where you find yourself off path, when you find yourself in a loop of negative thinking, when you find yourself, what I refer to in your humanness, right? In your imperfection, instead of being critical, be curious. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why did that happen? Why did I make that choice? Right? Instead of beating yourself up, like really inquire. Get silent, find out what's up. Because normally when we make choices that don't align with what we say we want, there's something off. And your job is to figure out what that is.
About being curious, because you know yourself, bro.
Yeah, I do.
You're not a slacker. You're not a undisciplined man. So when you have moments where the lower parts of you show up, the best thing you can bring to that moment is curiosity. What's happening? Check in with yourself. Do it lovingly too, bro. Normally, that's when we got to turn up the love for ourselves when we fuck up, because men like us, our default is to be tough on ourselves.
Man, and that makes us fall even harder. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And it's again, it's an error in thought. It's an error in the way we process those moments.
Yeah.
So in those moments, bring the curiosity, bring the love, right?
Gotcha.
Ask yourself questions. Give yourself space, bro. Give yourself the space. When I say space, like sometimes, like if I'm in a tough moment, I'll go ahead and just schedule in an hour and a half for me to just be with my thoughts and write some things down, ask myself some questions. I use ChatGPT to help me kind of cycle through my thoughts. And I always arrive at an insight that's like, oh, okay, I see what this is for. I see why this happened. And then you become better with that nugget of insight about yourself. Because every challenging moment, there's a seed of opportunity, there's a seed of insight. Every single time, bro, every one. But you have to bring curiosity and kindness for yourself, or grace for yourself, in order to cultivate it.
In every challenging moment, there's a seed of curiosity, there's a seed of insight. I want you to remember that the next time you're struggling. There's something there for you to learn.
If you're beating yourself up, you're not going to get the gem. Right? Because all you're doing is just bringing yourself lower and lower and lower. That shit doesn't serve anybody, bro. It doesn't help you. It doesn't fix the problem. Then it's just making things 10 times worse. So you got to have a zero tolerance for that voice. And it takes practice. And this is why, again, the mindfulness is so key, because with mindfulness, whether life is going upward or you're having a challenging moment, it gives you an opportunity to practice being aware of what you are feeling, thinking, and all of those things, right? And that ability, right? You practicing that every day, it makes it easier to show up in these moments with that level of awareness. Like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. And then you have the mental muscle that will allow you to be aware, feel the feelings, but still say, all right, I'm bringing curiosity. I'm bringing grace to myself. I'm going to schedule the time to sit with myself, and right? Instead of that reactive urge to just escape it, right? Because that's typically what it is, right? We beat ourselves up.
Escape reality.
We have these self-loathing, right? These thoughts of negativity. And now what we want to do, we want to eat. We want to fucking jerk off. We want to call an ex. We want to binge watch Netflix. We want to go out and drink. Because we want to escape. But when you practice being aware, what that does is, because a lot of the times when we do that, we don't realize that that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't.
We don't realize. We think
really
it's just like, you know what? I'm just, man, whatever. I'm having a bad day. Let me just go out and have a drink. Let me just, it feels very innocent. You don't realize how it's literally an attack on your future self. It's a missed opportunity, right? But you don't know that. So the mindfulness piece is the thing that allows you to be that present in that moment, in the middle of the heat. You feel me? To where you're like, okay, I feel this urge to go out. I feel this urge to eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs strawberry ice cream. I feel the urge. I see it. I feel it. But it's going to get to the point where if you choose it because you're aware, it's going to feel like you're choosing violence towards yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And you're not going to be okay with that. Yeah. Let me just say this. The awareness is not going to automatically guarantee that you'll handle it in the right way. There's going to be a season where the awareness is there And sometimes you may be able to choose a higher choice, and sometimes you're not. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not. Sometimes, but the first win is the awareness. And then with the awareness, right? Once you got the awareness piece down, that's when you practice making the higher choice. And every time you have the opportunity to make the higher choice, bro, you celebrate that shit like you just won a Super Bowl, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I mean? Like you really give yourself flowers for that. Right. Because the more you reinforce, that's how you reinforce the higher choice. By acknowledging yourself. Gotcha. I just did that. I sat with this uncomfortable feeling. I let myself feel it. I journaled about it. I prayed about it. I meditated. I didn't give in to the urge to escape it. And then you can, whatever, even if you say, hey, listen, yeah, I want to go out. I want to go have some drinks. I want to smoke. I want to do whatever. That's cool. Just handle your business first. Sit with your shit first. You don't have to become some monk. Yeah. Make sure you're taking care of self first. You let yourself feel it first. You work through whatever emotions coming up. You have a healthier way to process it. Do that and then go out if you want to. But here's the thing. Most of the time, you're not even going to want to.
Yeah, because once you go out, you be like, damn, why come out?
Yeah, like, I'm good. Like, I didn't even...
Like, damn.
You feel what I'm saying? But you need to do it to experience that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And just so you can show yourself, right, whatever part of yourself that struggles with these moments, that you are allies with it. You feel what I'm saying? Not that you are somehow an adversary to the part of you that's having the moment. Nah, let him know, like, and me, this is me talking like, yo, we got higher self, lower self, bro.
Yeah.
All right, let me speak to that real quick. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this concept, but every one of us, we have a higher self and we have a lower self, right? Our higher self is typically the version of us that is focused, that is driven, that is positive, that is inspired. And then you have those moments where you don't feel those things, where you feel doubt, you feel fear, you feel, just like a shell of yourself. That is typically your lower self. Now, everything in life has duality, right? There's yin and yang to everything. There's high and low to everything. And recognizing when you're operating from your lower self and recognizing when you're operating from your higher self is pivotal, right? Because, and I break that down in the next part. I talked about what your lower self actually comprises of. Like, what creates our lower selves? So let's get back into it real quick.
We have higher self. You have experienced your higher self. You've experienced your lower self. You got to find harmony between them two. And if your lower self feels like your higher self is trying to judge it or trying to wrestle it into submission, it's going to fight harder. Your lower self is just a part of you that the love for yourself is blocked from. That's all that is. It's a void of love. There's a blockage of self-love. There's a blockage of grace. So when you can operate and you can coexist with your lower self, I'm speaking from experience because I went through these phases where I would like learn and I would grow and I would heal. But instead of trying to bring the older version of me, the lower older version, and kind of like integrating him, it was like this denial. Like a denial of my old self. You feel me? And that's not effective either.
Got a hatred of yours.
Now you start hating yourself. You start building up this inner resentment. And that start manifesting in ways that, bro, it'll blow your mind. You start externalizing that energy. And you start to attract people into your life that embody what you don't like about your lower self. And you'll feel like anger towards them.
Wow.
You didn't make peace within yourself. And that energy, the emotions is energy, bro. It got to go somewhere. If we don't resolve that within ourselves and give ourselves grace and love, God only knows how it escapes us and turns into other situations, bro. And it's so sneaky. You won't even realize it, bro. So, yeah.
Because for me, it seemed like when you was explaining that higher, lower self, like them phases, bro, because I felt like I went through a phase of like learning, growing, You pushing yourself to new heights. It's like your higher self is really in the driver's seat, right? And it's like, bro, you headed to your destination, bro. But it's like your lower seat is in the passenger and it just grabbed the wheel and start turning the car like, nah, you ain't going there. Like, damn, bro.
Bro, because all that is your inner child, bro. Your lower self, he is made up of everything that hurt you, your feelings when you was a kid. That's all he is. So as the more conscious, evolved part of you, your higher self, your job is to just love him. Love on him, bro. Love on him. Understand him. You feel me? Don't wrestle with him, right? Don't wrestle with him. Try to make him feel seen, because then he stopped acting up.
Yeah.
Because he feels that, because all it is, that's our unhealed part. Those are our unhealed parts. That's all our lower self is. So the more we heal, the smaller his voice gets. And the only thing that's going to heal him is love. That's it. Love and understanding of him. Understanding what his plight is. Does he need more attention? Does he need to change a story about what he believes? You know, something means. Like, we got to be curious enough to understand him so that he can feel okay. Having that understanding, right, and knowing that grace is such an important ingredient in all of this, right? Because all this is it's a big ass healing journey. Because when you are healed, your body, you got access to the intelligence.
Let me stop this for a second. I think we should normalize looking at weight loss journeys as healing journeys, because that's all it really is. It's most of us, we get fat or we struggle with emotional eating because we have some sort of trauma, we have some sort of issue processing our emotions. So if you approach weight loss, for those of us that's true for, which is most of us, when you approach weight loss with that intention, with that understanding, you give yourself more patience, you give yourself more grace, because you realize that healing takes time. So I kind of get into that in the next part here. Let me rewind it a little bit.
Right, because all this is it's a big ass healing journey. Because when you are healed, your body, you got access to the intelligence in your body. Because our bodies, bro, if we go back centuries, everybody was ripped, bro.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Our bodies are naturally designed. The intelligence that God put into our bodies is designed to keep us in our top physique form, bro. Yeah. So when you heal, you get access to that intelligence that God put into your body. And it becomes effortless for you to be in top physique form, because the things that are destroying your health and destroying your body will no longer be attractive to you.
Yeah.
Because you're so in tune with your body, you're so in tune with that intelligence that shit just falls by the wayside, bro. You're like, nah, I'm good on that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's really all it's about, right? It's stripping away all of the things in society that, for one, been taught, that's been systematically designed to keep us sick. But healing is the key, bro. That's basically my message, right? It's just healing, right? It's about healing. The way you heal, in the most practical way to heal, is through curiosity and grace. You see what I'm saying? Curiosity and grace.
I don't want that one to slip by us. Weight loss is about healing. And the most practical way to mentally frame healing is knowing the role of curiosity and grace. Being curious, allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you feel, whenever it is you feel it, and you show up to that moment with an energy of inquiry, right? You're checking in with yourself. What am I feeling? Taking some deep breaths and asking yourself, what do you need? Right? So curiosity. And then grace. Oh, I messed up. or I made a choice that wasn't aligned with the plan. It's okay. That came from a part of me that needs some love. I'm going to give it some love, and I'm going to do my best to do better next time. And if you just repeat that cycle over and over and over again on your journey, you will heal. You will heal. Now, there's some more of this video. This video, there's probably about another 10 minutes, but I think I want to end it on that note, right? Healing, self-mastery, mindfulness. These are the elements that no one talks about when it comes to a weight loss or a health journey. But these are the most important tools you will ever, ever, ever develop. So, guys, learn yourself, love yourself, be patient with yourself, be curious instead of being critical. Don't let that voice in your head be abusive. Don't let that voice in your head talk to you in any way that you wouldn't allow someone to talk to your child, or that you wouldn't allow someone to talk to your mom. Just be mindful of it. All right. Much love. Hopefully this was helpful. I felt inspired to share this with you guys, so I didn't overthink it. I just did it. Let me know in the comment section if matter of fact, if you are still watching right now, drop your Instagram handle. I'm going to follow you. That's word to everything I love. I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to send you a DM thanking you for watching. But thanking you for you, not for me. Because I do this for y'all, and I know this is medicine for the mind and the heart that's ready to receive this message. So much love. I'll see you guys in the next one.